General Carter Ham, the leader of the U.S. campaign in Libya, told Congress today that before America moves to arm rebels there, quote, my recommendation would be that we should know more about who they are. Well, tonight my co-anchor, Terry Moran, sets out to fill in some of the blanks. From Cairo, he made his way west, crossed the Libyan border, and traveled along the Mediterranean coast through Tobruk to the rebel stronghold of Derna.
As always in this war, confusion reigned today. NATO forces allegedly made another lethal mistake today, the second within a week, as an airstrike hit a rebel convoy, killing at least 5 and raising more questions about this murky mission. In the dense fog of this war, it's hard to tell friend from foe, as we found out. We set out from Cairo at dawn, from a city still basking in triumph from the peaceful revolution here, and headed for war-torn Libya. Across the monotonous desert landscape, mile after mile after mile, a stop here and there along the roadside for a coffee, and then the border. The first sign of war, refugees, whole families from other African nations who came to Libya to work and are now stranded, living under tarps.
So we just crossed the border from Egypt into Libya now. Free Libya is what the rebels call it. They've manned the border, they've got a customs operation going, and they've raised a flag. It's the old Libyan flag, the pre-Gaddafi flag. All this in an effort to say, this is their country now.
This part of Libya, the east, was the first to rise up and free itself from the tyranny of Colonel Muammar Gaddafi. To the outside world, he's almost a comic figure, but his savagery and brutality, especially in this region, have been almost unimaginable, and they hate him here. Our destination, the city of Derna, a city of 80,000. Just a few weeks ago, there was a fierce battle here, but Derna has a deeper and, to Americans, a more disturbing history. This city is a center of radical Islam in Libya. More young men from here went to fight and kill Americans in Iraq than from any other place in the country. But it's also a hotbed of opposition to Gaddafi. And when they won their freedom, one of the first things they did was set up a museum, a living testament to Gaddafi's crimes. Many people lost loved ones into the dungeons and execution chambers of Gaddafi's regime. And in those long years, many young men in this city turned to radical Islam. You can't tell by wandering through the markets, but State Department cables obtained by WikiLeaks tell the story. It was well known that a large number of suicide bombers, invariably described as martyrs, and foreign fighters in Iraq hailed from Derna, one cable says. They were, in many ways, men like Abdel Hakim Hassadi. Hassadi is a rebel military leader in this area and a jihadist. Muammar Gaddafi himself has singled him out as the leader of Al-Qaeda forces here. And he's boasted in the past of how he went to Afghanistan and met Osama bin Laden himself, but now he sings a different tune. Did you meet Osama bin Laden?
No, I didn't, because Osama bin Laden was in Kandahar and I was in Jalalabad. These cities are 30-hour drive apart. If I did, though I didn't, but even if I did, it doesn't mean I'm from Al-Qaeda.
Hassadi says he was in Afghanistan from the mid-90s until 2003 teaching, and that he never went to any Al-Qaeda training camps, although there are reports that place him in a camp in Khost. Did you ever train in Al-Qaeda camp in Afghanistan?
No, I didn't. Afghans know weapons and how to use them before Osama bin Laden was there.
When he left Afghanistan in 2003, Hassadi was arrested by Pakistan, questioned, he says, by American interrogators for 2 months, and handed over to Gaddafi, who threw him in prison. It's a murky story. But Hassadi's message, and the message of many others who have fought Americans in the past, is clear.
Our opinion about the West and the Americans has changed a lot. And the Libyan people say the U.S. is now fighting for people's human rights.
But how long will the warm feelings toward America last here? What Hassadi and everyone else here really want from America are weapons, heavy weapons.
Right now here in Derna, all the revolutionaries, the religious and the secular, the young and the old, the professional military men and the amateur patriots who just picked up a gun, they're all united right now in a common purpose. They're brothers in this revolution to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi. But as this war heads to a stalemate, as the fighting gets tougher, and then even more so if they win it, that's when the divisions which have been submerged in this society will surface. And men like Abdel Hakim Assadi, they will make a big difference.
Well, Terry, General Ham testified before Congress today and admitted that they have no way of knowing whether they can trust these rebels. Now that you're on the ground, you've seen them, talked to them, what's your sense of their true motives?
Well, there's no question, Bill, that this is a Muslim country, some very devout Muslims, and that as WikiLeaks cables and others show that they did feed a lot of jihadists overseas. But this is a revolution happening here, and revolutions do change people. How much? You don't know, but you get the sense here of patriotic fervor, of a coming together, of people waking up and saying, you know what, we are Libyans. We aren't slaves of Muammar Gaddafi, and that path, there is hope there for real change.
And are they grateful for America's intervention? Do they wish we'd do more?
Both. They're hugely grateful. It is quite striking to hear somebody like Mr. Hassani, who has been at war in some ways with the United States in the past, sing the praises of the United States. And there's no question that when American bombs started raiding on Gaddafi forces, there were cheers throughout this part of Libya. Now, however, that they're stuck on the battlefield, they want more. They want arms, and as someone said, they want their friends Tomahawk and Cruz back.
All right, Terry, stay safe over there, especially with news today that 4 more journalists, including reporters from GlobalPost.com and the Atlantic Monthly, are now believed to be in the custody of Gaddafi's troops, and we'll be following their plight closely. And just ahead...